There are many types of exceptionalities, 13 under IDEA, or the Individual Disability Education. But today, we're going to discuss the ASD, or the Autism Spectrum Disorder. So the Autism Spectrum Disorder, or ASD, is a developmental disorder, and it is in a broad range condition. That is why it is called spectrum. Spectrum, ibig sabihin, malawak. Hindi pare-parehas yung manifestation sa kanila. Iba-iba bawat bata, but usually they are affected by the three main factors. Number one, problem in their social skills. Number two, communications. And number three, the behavior, such as the pattern or repetitive behavior. In terms of social skills, a child has a hard time interacting with others. They might want to have close relationship, but they do not know how. Sometimes they don't respond to their name. They are playing or sharing or talking with other people that doesn't interest them. Sometimes they prefer to be alone. They avoid or reject eye contact or physical contact. And sometimes when they're upset, they don't like to be touched or comforted, and they don't understand emotions. In terms of communication, most children with autism have problem with communication, including delayed speech and language skills. They have flat or robotic speaking voice. Sometimes they are echolalic or repeating the same phrases over and over. In some severe cases, they have speech delay. In terms of behavior, children with ASD also act in a way that seems unusual or have different interests that are not usually normal or typical. Example of this are the repetitive behavior like hand flapping, rocking or jumping, constant moving, pacing, and hyper behavior. Most of them have special interest or fixation on a certain activities or objects. Children with autism have specific routines or ritual, and they are getting upset easily when a routine is changed. Sometimes children with autism has extreme sensitivity to touch, light, and sound. And here are the common attributes of autism: communication, social and pattern and repetitive behavior. And also, meron ding sensory issues like sensitive sa light, sa sound, sa touch, sa smell, sa taste, na nagkukos ng meltdown nila pag na-overly stimulated sila. Like there are many tasks, pwede din mag-cause ng meltdown nila yon. Or maingay yung environment nila that they can be overly stimulated and cause their meltdown or behavior. Also, meron ding mga co-occurring condition such as short attention span, hyperactivity, anxiety, and even depression. ASD may be diagnosed with other overlapping disorders such as the ADHD. Like may example, may ASD and then meron ding ADHD. ASD and then meron ding intellectual disability, etc. Or meron din namang autism lang and meron din naman halos meron sila two or more comorbidity. So there are three levels of support for kids with ASD. Level 1 is a minimal support for the high-functioning autism, such as the Asperger syndrome, high-functioning classical autism. Level 2 is a substantial support for the moderate autism. Number 3 is the intensive or one-on-one support for the severe autism. So there are many strategies in handling the student with ASD in class, but ito lang yung mga, just a few strategies that we can do to help them. Number 1 is to set routines and procedure because they are systematic or structural. Number 2, inform or orient them early for any changes in the routine because they need time to process things. Number 3, use visual and concrete objects when presenting lessons and instruction. Most ASD kasi or most ASD kids are visual learner. Number 4, provide alternative as accommodation. Example, in writing, instead na writing using pen and paper, you can let the child type his answer on the keyboard. Number 5, give them time or break when they are sensory stimulated to distress and process things. Number 6, give positive reinforcement and feedback. Provide extra time or prompt to answer question Do not expect the child to always respond immediately. Ignore behavior that is not affecting naman their classmates or the entire class. Allow fidgeting, doodling, or as long as it is not distracting naman in your class, because those action of the kids is their coping mechanism from their sensory issues and even their anxiety. Use their special interest or fixation to motivate them in learning. Special interest or fixation help and motivate them in learning. Here is an example of when a child is fixated in a train, and then the teacher uses stories about train, do math problem using trains or railway, etc. Now, can you identify what is this picture? All right, so this is Pokemon. This picture is a famous video game of all time. And do you know that the creator of Pokemon is a person with autism? His name is Satoshi Tajiri. He has Asperger's syndrome. When he is young, he is fixated with collecting bugs, insects, and video games. Yes. Elon Musk, when he's a little boy, he is fixated with computer, rockets, and invention. So look at him now. He is a founder of the Tesla Motors, the SpaceX, the one that send rockets outer space and even to Mars. And he created other great and promising inventions. And then another example is Dr. Temple Grandin. Dr. Temple Grandin is fixated with farm animal when she is a little girl. And now she is a well-known autism advocate, psychologist, animal behaviorist, and she's helping many animal farmers. So kids with autism has special interests that can be a ticket for them to be the best version of themselves.